was watching today the discussion with Taiwan with the 50-50 and, Taiwan realizing how Howard Lutnick is negotiating and saying, no, we're going to doing this. No, we want your protection, but also at the same time, we want to be able to keep the 90% time you were talking about kind of earlier, right, when you're given that number. But I think you're pushing, and it's going to get to a point where Russia today gave a very nice condolences. I don't know if you saw that about Charlie Kirk. Very, very nice. Putin came out and said a few words. Now, Putin's cornered where he's willing to meet with Zelensky. Zelensky is talking to the UN or the EU to get them to buy oil from U.S. instead of buying oil from Russia. So Putin's not going to like that. And then China is sitting there saying, wait a minute, you're hanging out with Taiwan, but at the same time, we kind of would like to attack them eventually. Maybe not under you, Donald Trump. Kind of maybe later on we want to do something to these guys. This is way too much control, right? And it's not like it's frictionless. India's a little bit uncomfortable. You know what's going to happen with India. Canada's making its comments. All this stuff that's going on right now. But if they try to do something, have you thought, maybe yourself, have you thought about saying, if they do try to play games, what angles would they take to come after us?
Who?
Would it be the grid? Pick them. So China, Iran, Russia, Democratic Party, within the states, within the party, rhinos, people that were, because Eric, you guys didn't just beat people.
Yeah.
You humiliated people. So when you win like that, you have enemies for the rest of your life. They're just plotting to see what they're going to be doing next.
Sure.
What do you think they'll be doing to you?
Oh, listen, I said it before. You asked a question, do you think it's over? And I said, no, I think they're vindictive as hell, and I think they'll probably never stop because it's the only way they know how to play, right? I mean, when discourse is lost, what do? They resort to violence. They've done that kind of time and time again. And so, no, it's incredibly worrisome. Do I worry about our grid? Yes, I worry about our grid. Do I worry about political adversaries? Yes, I worry about political adversaries. At the same time, we have the strongest military in the world right now. I mean, we spent what, $9 trillion in Afghanistan. Between Afghanistan and Iraq, that wasn't helping us. My father's hell-bent on building the greatest military this country's ever seen. You see Pete Hegseth. I mean, what a great job this guy's doing. Before you had the worst military recruiting in the history of the country. 2 months later, you had the best. And you saw that speech the other day that he gave, which was amazing. It's if you're a general and you can't do a pull-up, leave the armed forces. Do me a favor, get in shape. I don't want to see these guts anymore. I don't want to see X, Y, and Z. No, I think they're taking the protection incredibly seriously. And I think my father needed to make these people uncomfortable. I mean, we were getting ripped off like you wouldn't believe. We paid 4.6% of our GDP to NATO, and you had countries like Germany, economies like Germany that were paying nothing. Why are we protecting? Why are we protecting Europe? Why are we the only people writing the check? Why are we the only people protecting South Korea from North Korea? Why were we doing that? Why could Taiwan have tariffs on the United States, yet, we're the one thing that probably stopped China from invading them, right? I mean, why are we doing any of this? Why are we the police force for the entire world and we get nothing back? We have a hurricane that hits South Florida, right? Does anybody write us a check? Does anybody send people in to try and help us? Yet every other country in the world gets devastated by natural disasters, and who's the first one there? America, the Red Cross, etc. We're the most philanthropic country in the world, and it's always ignored and is never appreciated. And Donald Trump is changing that every single day.
That's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, for somebody like me, if you're in a company and somebody's representing to lead that company, you want that person to be tough, strong, know how to negotiate, know how to be diplomatic, yet at the same time to be gentle when needed, and to be a BMF when needed. And he's got a balance of it. And right now, it's a very interesting thing because I don't know who's going to say no right now.
But can I give you the greatest example of this? Do you remember Little Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, North Korea, right? Man, these guys hated each other at the beginning. Little Rocket Man's like, I've got a bomb, and my father points to the Diet Coke button, it's a big red button on the desk of the White House. He's like, yeah, I've got a red button. Mine actually works with the greatest nuclear arsenal ever. Don't play with me, Little Rocket Man. And they're sparring back and forth. And then all of a sudden, my father's in South Korea, and he invites my father, and my father goes walking across that line. They shake hands, and they became I don't want to say friends. I don't know. Let's call friends. Whatever there's absolute, respect between the two of them. Barack Obama was saying that we were going to go to nuclear war with North Korea, and my father's walking across the DMZ line, shaking hands, laughing with the guy, and they have rapport. Which is more powerful? Isn't that nice? Isn't that peace through strength. We never had strength before. I mean, Obama would go to China, land Air Force One. They wouldn't even bring a set of stairs up. Like, you'd have to go through like the kids' stairs on the bottom of the plane. Yet you see my father go over to Saudi Arabia. You see him go over to China, and they've got the greatest processions you've ever seen, where he comes off the plane and you've got the 5,000 horses and the swordsmen and everything else. Like, isn't that the pedestal that we want the United States of America to be on? And so, you need peace through strength, and these people need to get kicked. And by the way, when they're ripping us off, guess what? Fine, we're going to put 100% tariffs on you. We're the largest economy by far in the world at $32 trillion. You want to trade with us, you're going to have to pay 100% tariff. Otherwise, knock off your nonsense. And by the way, in the process, you're going to buy 200 Boeings because, we're going to take care of American companies versus allowing that business to go to, to Europe, to Airbus or one of those. Like, isn't it nice to have somebody that's actually sitting out there and standing up for U.S. economy, U.S. countries? It's so refreshing.
So we're looking at this book right now. If you're watching this and you're loving the podcast, this will be at the end of every single one of the clips. We would like to see if we can do something. Okay, collect. Thank you so much. I would like you, if you're watching this, to go support Eric Trump. We're going to put the link below. Buy a copy, maybe buy 2, maybe buy 5 and gift it to somebody. It's number 30. Let's, in the next 24 hours, help this book become number 1 on all of Amazon. If you can buy 10, order 10. Let's send a statement. The book comes out October 14th. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.